We do not always appreciate the importance of our health until we lose it. When we are told that nothing can be done to heal us, no matter how much money we have, everything that seems so important before now starts to lose its value. We experience pain, desperation, and loneliness in the presence of others. Then we acknowledge that healing is a gift that goes beyond medicine, that there are other options out there that may help us, and that there is a higher power that controls the distribution of this gift. As a result, we hesitantly and somewhat reluctantly begin to explore these other avenues. To our great surprise, we discover the secrets of the universe through alternative medicine. We experience and respect the generosity of divinity through various health modalities. Our faith is restored, our health improves, and life begins to make sense again. Health is a basic human right. And healing is a gift that is given to us by God through a variety of channels, including doctors and other alternative practitioners. How is it that until now we did not know that there was so much on offer? That doesn't really matter, for now we are being given the chance to know.
A very warm welcome to you viewers. Welcome to Dr. Alternative. Today we are going to cover a different topic from laughter yoga. I'm hoping that our past show was quite funny. I laugh all the time. I try. Keep practicing until you can get it right. But today, like I promised you in that second show, we're going to be talking about people that are gluten intolerant, that are lactose intolerant, and or people that have got what we call celiac disease. What is gluten intolerance? Before I tell you what gluten intolerance is, I want you to pay attention to these following illnesses that I'm going to mention. Even if it's not you who's suffering from these symptoms, if you know of someone, whether it's a relative, because the likelihood, if you've got that problem, you will find that it runs in that family. So I really want you to pay attention. Ngifuna umuntu aqaphele ezimpawu ndizazimenshina as we go along. Ujonge uma akho umuntu umaziyo okanye mhlambe nawe uyazazi uba unazo, and then umamele ke ngoku yonke into esizayithetha emva koko. Firstly, there are women who have tried for the better part of umtshato wabo ukuzama ukuthi fall pregnant. Umuntu uyazama uyile kogqirha, uyile kwi-gynecologist, but akade a-conceive, so akathathi. Uyile even nakwizinto zesiXhosa, even nakumasiko, but you are just not falling pregnant. Or abanye ufumanisa ukuthi umuntu uyakwazi ukuthi athathe, but izisu ziyaphuncuka all the time, miscarry all the time. So ufumanisa abanye there are even 2 or 3 or 4, 5 pregnancies that you have lost and you don't know what is causing that. Okwesibili, Kukho abantu ofumanisa ukuthi abakwazi ukuphila ngaphandle kokusela izinto ekuthiwa zii-antacids, into eziphelisa i-acid esiswini. Ufumanisa umuntu i-acid imphatha ngohlobo olungummangaliso. Abanye ufumanisa uba even wakulala kufuneka umuntu alale so, because the moment elala flat uyanyukwa, ufumanisa uba utyekeza nangempumlo i-acid, it's too much. Abanye kukho kwi-clients that I would treat umuntu athi andisakwazi uhamba ngemoto because itubike yabhampa, then ufumanisa uba ndiyayityekeza i-acid. Bayile koogqirha, abanye bade benziwe izikopu kutshekisha ukuthi kwenzeka ntoni, because umntu ehleli ngityiwa i-acid, there's so much of it. Kwabalandelayo, kukho abantu ufumanisa ukuthi uyaqhina, uyakwazi umuntu ahlala iveki, ahlala inyanga, uyaqhina qha. Akukhathaliseki noba ngatya iyeza elithile, iyeza lokuzithuma. Omnye athi ndihleli nje, lithi sendilityile ndingalazi noba lipheleleki, nditsho sendizama ukuthi mandizicime, aliphume elo yeza, and ke ngoku akayazi uba kufuneka esebenzise ntoni. Uyaqhina qha ade omnye ayeke anikezela athi akusekuse into yoba ndiyaqhina qha. Kwabanye abalandelayo ufumanisa ukuthi umntu omnye akanaproblem yokuqhina, but uthi xa egqiba ukutya abeleqa funeka ezithuma. Like kade athi omnye ndawanto ndiyinkumbi, ndithi xa ndigqiba ukutya ndiyazi uba kufuneka ndiyokukhupha xa ukutya. And indlela endiba nomoya ngayo, ufumanisa uba nomoya ongummangaliso. Umntu omnye umoya umphathe ade abe namahlaba, ufumanisa uba kuneendawo ezihlabayo, and akayazi noma ngathi nathi umntu indlela endikubawela ngayo ukukhe endithi xa ndibukela abantu mhlawumbi bebhodla ndiqonda uba andisakubawela kwakubhodla, because andibhodli, andikwazi ukukhupha umoya ondiphatha ngohlobo olungummangaliso. Abanye abalandelayo uyawufumanisa ukuthi umntu uneproblem yeskin, akukho nto ungakhange uyizame ehlupha iskin sakho, and uthambise leya siye siba worse instead. Omnye ufumanisa uba siyarhawuzelela, omnye ade abe nale nto ekuthiwa zii-eczema. Ufumanisa uba ezi ndawo ezapho kudibana khona phambi kwengqini apho kudibana khona ingalo, umntu uhleli ndinee-patches. Abanye ziphuma nasemva kwemilenze noba ngabantwana, umntu kule nto ekuthiwa yi-eczema. Abanye ufumanisa uba nale nto ekuthiwa yi-psoriasis. So unolusu nje oluncamile, ehleli nje uyazikrwela, uwezixelele, and uwezixeke wadibana neyithi, uhleli nje uyazikrwela. Kwabanye umntu uba neproblem yombilini, uthi xa ufikile umbilini umbethe ame ngenyawo, asoloko abanye bade bacinga inoba ikhona le nto ndizayiva. And abanye ufumanisa uba umphatha kangoba ade ayokufuneka ayolala esibhedlele. Kukho abantu abaninzi endibatritileyo kwa-health haven, ufumanisa uba umntu indlela ane-panic attacks ngakhona zimphatha. Omnye ade afike ebambile, ufike omnye umntu angene phaa ekliniki ukuthi kube ngathi kubheteranyana xa ebambile ecinezele isifuba esi, the way emphatha ngakhona. Abanye bakwi-mental institutions because bakhomithwe phaa ngenxa yoba umntu uba depressed or uba anxious to an extent uba kufuneka uba makayolaliswa. Zininzi ke babukeli izinto, and ungatshona ilanga ndininika ilist ngelist, but ndithe mandikhethe nje ezimbalwa ofumaniseka uba zixhaphakile kubantu abaninzi. But ke kukho into eyi-one ezidibanisayo. Yabona uba uyazibona ezinto ndizibala zinto zohlukeneyo, umntu ongumama, but uyawufumanisa uba njengoba ndithetha kwicase abantu abangafumani bantwana, ufumanisa uba nakwicala lotata umntu uyasokola. Mhlawumbi umntu akanaswekile akanantoni, but uyasokola kakhulu kwicala lobutata, and aka-understand uba inoba yenziwa yintoni. Now all these things that I have listed, they have got one thing in common. Of course, I'm not saying they are only caused by lento, but you will find them in the list of izigulo ezenzekayo because because umntu is gluten intolerant. Now, from the break, I'm going to tell you and discuss it further. Uba sithetha ukuthini nge-gluten, yintoni gluten? Yintoni le nto ingumonakalo kangaka ewenza ezimpilweni zabantu? Umntu uyifumana njani ukuba unayo, and luthini uncedo, ungancedakala njani xa ungumntu o-gluten intolerant? We'll be right back. back to you viewers. Now, before Singene in explaining what gluten is, I know there is a lot of people that don't know, and I'm saying this because about 80% of people that we have treated at Health Haven have actually got gluten problems. They are gluten intolerant. Now, if 80% of such people has got a problem of gluten intolerance, I mean, you can imagine, and that's just a fraction of the number of people that we are. And let's just say only in Port Elizabeth. So you can just imagine how many people are actually suffering from gluten-related illnesses and are not even aware that the cause is gluten. Now, gluten kubantu abaninzi is a protein efumaneka kwingqolowa. Zonke izinto ezenziwa ngengqolowa, whether sisonke, whether it's cereals zakho kusasa ezizakusasa like wheat bix and all bran, whether ibhali, whether intoni na, or even some pastas have got gluten. So anything that carries ingqolowa has got gluten. Now, so discuss it so that abantu they begin to understand what it is, because most people, like I say, that over 80% of our patients have actually got problems that are related to gluten. Every one of them. Then sit and sit you are gluten intolerant. Don't know. What is that? So people don't know what gluten is. So yeah, that is why we felt gluten, and yet it is affecting us big time in our health. So that is why I felt I want to present this as our topic today. Now, before we go into looking at what our guest is bringing to us as far as what gluten is, we just want to demonstrate so that you can compare if flour that is made from gluten and if flour that is gluten-free, that does not have gluten, so that you can actually see it before you even look at what it does. You get an idea of what we're talking about. So let us have a look. Welcome back. I suggested that we must make this demonstration about the different types of flours because those people that are staying in cities don't really have a problem as far as getting gluten-free bread is concerned. But those people that are staying outside Port Elizabeth, in more rural areas, they're really battling. And I suggested that they must buy flour. But I've realized that they've got no clue how that flour actually works compared to the normal flour that they're used to. Now, I hope you've seen the demonstration. You don't need to have a good shape because gluten-free flour will not give you a good shape, but it will give you a gluten-free bread. So it's up to you if you want a good shape of something that is messing up your health, or a bad shape of something that is healing you. So I just wanted to make that demonstration. But we're talking more now on what gluten is and how much it's affecting our health and what we can do about it. So we've got our guest in the studio. Hello, Carol.
Hello, how are you?
Very good, thank you. We're covering a very important subject today, which has caused a lot of havoc in many people's health, and people are not even aware of how bad it is. We're not trying to be political here, but like we said, we've promised the viewers that we're going to bring them a whole lot of different topics which will give answers to most of their health problems that they don't know what is causing the havoc in them. So gluten intolerance is one of those. And I want to also specify that we have looked at gluten intolerance only from the perspective of alternative medicine. So people mustn't wonder maybe why we don't have dietitians here or people from the conventional side, because they've got their own view of gluten intolerance and how they attend to it. But we from the alternative side have our own view, how we look at it, how we treat it, how we diagnose it. So it is for that reason, therefore, that I have not invited people from the conventional side. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And Carol, can you please tell the viewers what is gluten?
Basically, Tembi, on a very, I would say, basic level, it is a protein. A protein that basically is derived from a lot of the grain products, or wheat, which is probably the most, I would say, the strongest form of gluten in a grain. And then there's barley and there's oats as well, and rye. But you're finding that most of our foods are containing gluten these days. Most people are eating a diet that is really loaded with bread and pastas. And that is probably where the downfall is coming from. We're eating far too much of the gluten products and we're needing to be more gluten-free. And basically it's a protein, yes.
Okay. Now, if you're looking at gluten and you look at our staple foods, they're just gluten.
Absolutely, they're loaded with gluten.
You look at the meal in the morning, you will have your cereal, it's gluten.
Absolutely.
You will have your toast, it's gluten.
Right.
You go to the day, it's gluten. I mean, right through the day, I would say at least every family uses gluten at least twice a day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, if this is something that is affecting our health, which I would like us to talk about, in a way, we are really faced with a huge disaster.
It's a huge dilemma, absolutely.
It really is disastrous. Now, why is gluten bad for us?
Why is it bad for us? Well, basically the word glue is derived from the word gluten. So basically it glues up our whole system. I don't think it allows our lymphatic system to drain as well as what it should do. But the glue contaminates all our organs, all our arteries, our veins, our stomach, our small intestine, the villi. It just basically contaminates and just destroys wherever it goes. And because it takes so long to break down, it takes too long, and the body is actually malnourished because it can't absorb any of the minerals and nutrients. So there's an extensive amount of damage. Totally. I mean, it's basically in everything we're eating. I mean, we need to basically look at our ingredients, because everything has got wheat in it, from even being thickening agents. In our sauces that we basically have on a daily basis, everything is thickened with something. And most times they are using is flour, and the gluten in the flour. So although you might be having a gluten-free diet, you might find that there's sauces or any products in packets or boxes or tins that are thickened with some form of starch, and most times it's flour.
Okay. Now, for the benefit of people that may not understand what gluten is, I'll even try to explain it in Xhosa as well. Gluten is the substance or the protein that you find in all products that are made up of wheat. Now, gluten is what makes the dough to stretch, as you will see. It's what gives shape to the bread. It's what makes it last longer, and while it doesn't feel stale, it still feels soft. It's what gives it gas. So when you see a roll looking high or a loaf looking high like a dome, and you see it having a shape, so the reason that those people are able to create a shape like that, it's because of gluten. So in a way, it makes the product look presentable to the eye. It gives it shelf life. It gives it elasticity. So it gives all the things that look good. But the question is, does it give you health? And we are going to talk more about this when you come back after the break. Welcome back, viewers. We are still on the question of, does gluten give us good or bad health? Is it good or is it bad for us? And let me come back to you, Carol. Can you answer that question? Is it, I mean, you have described what it actually does, but just for the benefit of people that may not understand the physiology or anatomy that well, can we explain it maybe in layman's terms? What does it actually do that is not healthy for us? And especially that it is a naturally occurring substance.
Yeah.
So how come that it is something that's created by God for us to eat it? Or is it meant to be eaten by humans? If not, what is it for?
Well, basically, you're looking at a grain that is grown in a field like our wheat, our barley, our rye. It's not meant to be consumed when it's been dried. This is a product that actually is grown, organically from the soil with nutrients and minerals and water. But there's a lot of water in the product. It's meant to be eaten green. Most of the times you find grains turn from a fat to a protein when they actually are sprouted. So you can take your bean sprouts these days, and I mean, in most of the stores these days you get our chickpeas and the sprouted beans and the sprouted peas. This is all turning from a fat to a protein, so it's far better for us. But the product was never designed to be dried and ground down to try and recreate the construction of the actual grain. It's not meant to be eaten dry, and for me personally, I see it more as a fodder for animals. Because you see, you have your ryegrass, your kikuyu grass. It's all a form of grass with a seed. I don't believe it's actually meant for us to be ingested. Honestly.
Yeah. Which is actually interesting when you say it's meant for the animals, because if you look at the cattle, for instance, that they've got 4
stomachs.
Exactly.
Totally.
So it moves from, so you can understand that, and they still regurgitate and still digest again.
Totally.
So it explains therefore that for our systems, it's too much.
It's too much work for our systems, I think. I mean, we're taking cattle because they're probably the easiest thing to use as an example, where they literally have 4 stomachs. And in every section of the stomach, a different procedure is passed, how the nutrients and minerals are extracted and broken down. And as you said, they regurgitate again, to re-grind it again. And they'll use the term, a cow's chewing the cud. It actually needs to be broken down in order to be digested by the 4 stomachs. We don't have the same constitution as what they do have. So I do believe, yes, the bar, the rye, the oats, they are meant for animals.
So in other words, amongst the things that it does to create a health hazard in our systems, one of the things that you've mentioned is it lowers down our ability to absorb.
Totally.
Yeah, because remember, our system, we eat, there's an intake, there's digestion, there's absorption, there's assimilation, and then there's elimination.
Correct.
So if at absorption level, then the process is cut short. So it means you are eating, but you're not really feeding the body.
Not benefiting from the nutrition. Totally.
And which explains something that I've picked up from quite a few clients of mine. And for the benefit of the viewers, there are clients, amongst others, that we have treated who have got a problem of falling pregnant. And there are those that you find do manage to fall pregnant, but then they miscarry all the time. Are pregnant, but izisu ziyaphuncuka. Eleke sisu mhlawumbe uthi ke koma 3-4 months izisu ziphuncuke all the time. Adatyhola ummelwane bethu, ummelwane engenzanga nix, engakhange enze nix ummelwane. But because naye aka-understand uba kwenzeka ntoni. But abo bantu uyawufumanisa ukuthi inxalenye yabo bantu, uninzi lwabo phofu njengoba sibasebenza sibatreat abantu heaven, sikwazile ukuthi sisave abantwana babo, athi umuntu ngoku bephuncukelwa zizisu zilandelelana, ufumanisa bazi-end up isisu sikwazi ukuhlala. Omnye ufumanisa ubengabikho pregnant but end up ekwazi ukuthi abe pregnant. But ke ngoku kwenzeka ntoni? I'm just thinking about a couple of clients of mine that would say, you know what, my gynecologist has always asked me, why are you not eating enough? And this particular lady said to me, I don't understand, because I eat so much. I actually eat for two, and look how bulgy I am, because they pick up weight like anything. And she said, in one of the miscarriages, the gynecologist actually said they were not going to get rid of the fetus straight away. They're going to take it to the lab and try to see if there's anything in the fetus that could be causing them to keep on, aborting. Yeah. So, and she said the results came back negative. There was no explanation. So when I was saying to her, therefore, when you are gluten intolerant, you're not absorbing, so you're not feeding that baby.
Baby starving.
That's why that baby, the doctor kept on saying, you're 3 months, but the baby looks like a 1 month old fetus.
Precisely.
Yeah? It's because that baby is starving.
It's kind of amazing.
Absorbing. Yeah.
When you say that, I actually think about certain people that I know that have been pregnant. And the gynecologists are always so concerned about the growth of the baby and measuring the baby. So it seems to be maybe not for them gluten related, but we see a different picture coming from our perspective, where the baby size is always vital to make sure it's growing.
Yes.
But anything needs food and nourishment to grow.
Yes.
It's just amazing when you actually analyze it.
Yeah. So when you're not absorbing, you're not eating. So that is why the baby is starving as well. And we have actually proven that what we're talking about holds, because those people that were miscarrying one after the other, once we deal with them and we change the diet, we say this is what you stick to, you find that they actually turn around and we've got a lot of Health Haven grandchildren that have managed to land on this planet because of our ability to assist their moms. So, viva Health Haven! Something that I want to explain about fructose intolerance, because I don't want confusion about how does it connect to the gluten, because remember, gluten is wheat products, your bread, your cereals, your what have you, but where does fit come into this? Now, people that have got a problem of fructose intolerance, that is also a huge problem, but we're going to cover that part in another show, not necessarily the next one, but maybe in other shows that are going to follow. It may be next week, next one, it may be another one. But fructose intolerance is different from fructose malabsorption. Fructose intolerance is when you are deficient on an aldolase enzyme which converts fructose into glucose. But fructose malabsorption means you are battling to absorb fruit. Now, how does that happen? Now, remember, when you are gluten intolerant, that means the moment you start to eat gluten, your immune system starts to attack the villi. Now, if villi, it's certain particles as or ilona and zilayinishe pha amathumbu wakho amancinci have got thousands and thousands of them ingathi lihlathi elishingeneyo. Now ezavili zizo ke ezisetyenziswa ngumzimba for ukuabsorba ukutya. But xa usitya something that has got gluten, masithi utya isonka which you are not supposed to have because you are gluten sensitive. Now what happens, kwenzeka ntoni? As a gluten, immune system yakho, that is amajoni omzimba wakho, as zibe flat, azilaliswe koboya ukuthi nje what. Now remember, the class is flat, is it blunt, you are not in a position to absorb anything. You cannot even absorb a fruit leaf. Ibeke ifruit yona iproblem ngayo, iyafementa, ifruit iyavubela. Siyayazi uba iwine for instance yenziwa ngegrapes. Grapes as end up as a vubeleka zenze wine. It's not anything akugalelwa yeast for uba mayivubele. So if fruit iyavubela, so ithi ke ngoxa ihleli phaya ifruit small intestines zakho ixakwe ku-absorb, i-end up ifementa ivubela because awukwazi kuyi-absorb. So which is why I advise abantu abathile ukuthi athi umuntu xa sifumanise gluten intolerance sikuxelele uba don't take fruit for a little while and then you start reintroducing it like banana. Banana is not huge on fructose. Banana needs kakhulu glucose than on fructose. So we start reintroducing banana and then we start with the fruit as sweet like pawpaw and mango, those type of fruit, and then CSS introduce as acidic like orange and pine and all that. So that is why I said to them both, Utobega and Renat, and I said, don't take fruit because you cannot absorb it until your belly have started to grow again. So I would suggest that to people from you're fructose intolerant, so you must not eat fruit, but you can always go back. But when you are fructose intolerant and not a problem, malabsorption, you don't go back to fruit. If it is because you don't have aldolase B enzyme, you're aldolase deficient, it means you cannot have fruit. You don't go back. But when it is just malabsorption, you can always go back to fruit once the problem of absorption has been sorted. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. And ndiyabulisa bakhona kubabukeli. Namhlanje ndinoThobeka ongazichaza igama lakhe. uThobeka uphangela kwa-Health Haven. Isizathu soba sizise abantu kwa-Health Haven because abantu bathi niyasinyanga and nilindele uba sinike testimonies, but ithini into ngani because akunaba akho mntu oke wagula kwa-Health Haven wa-end up encedakala kulo. And I think they are actually correct. That's true. Even I discovered that I'm gluten intolerant when I started using the techniques at Health Haven. So it's actually true that it's the same thing with us as well. So today I've got that guest. Hello, Thobeka.
Hello, Tim.
Thank you for agreeing to want to be one of the people abaniki testimonials namhlanje. I must not say thank you for agreeing, but at the end of the day, it's also your choice to say or do it. But because you believe in what you're doing, it was not an effort for you to come and give a testimony. Now, can you please tell Ababukeli in your own words and give them a testimony ngempilo yakho nento oyenzelwa ngapha?
Okokuqala sisithembi ndinguThobeka Spillman, ndisebenzela kwi-Health Haven. Iminyaka emine ndisebenzela kwi-Health Haven. Ndikhule ndingumntu ophile qede. Kwala ngo-1994 ndi-pregnant i-last born yam, ndafumana ubunzima bokuba ndiyolaliswa esibhedlele phambi kwexesha ngenxa ye-high blood pressure, ndidumbe neenyawo. Kwathi ke bapha esibhedlele umntu uyatshekishwa every morning, uyatesta umchameni, wafumaniseka uba ndine-protein eninzi emchameni. Ndade ndayobeleka ke, ndabe ndibelekile ndagoduka, ndifikele endlini umntana wakhula kakuhle. Ndaya ekliniki ndayotshekishwa, kwafumaniseka uba noko i-high blood ihlile. Ndakhe ndahlala ke iminyaka ukusukela ke phaa ku-94. Kwakhona ke ngokwalile phaa ngo-97 ndaziva ndinento apha emqaleni. Ndaphindela ke ngoku ndaya e-health center phaa eMotherwell. Kwafumaniseka uba ndandiye e-casualty ke iyi-weekend, kwathiwa ze ndiye ngoMvulo ekliniki. Ndaya ekliniki kwafumaniseka uba ndine-high blood kwakhona. Ndafakwa ke kwi-treatment ye-high blood pressure. Ndanyangwa i-treatment ye-high blood pressure. Ndithe ngo-2006 ndafumaniseka ke ngoku ndizifumanisa uba ngoku ndinaso nesiluma. Ndaqalwa sisiluma, into engazange ndibe nayo ekukhuleni kwam. Ndathi ke ngo-2010 ndaqalisa kwa-Health Haven.
But-ke manje ukuqaliswa kwakho sisiluma ububa ngumuntu esikufumana qho xa uyezigemini okanye besiba manqaphanqapha.
Uqalisa kwaso besindifumana xa ndisezigemini kuphela sibuye sihambe. Qho xa ndisezigemini sibuye siphinde sihambe kodwa besingekho ngamandla kakhulu. Kuye ke ngoku ngeli xesha ke ngoku 2007 2008 ngeva siyaqiniseka ngoku. Ndaya nakoogqirha ke ngoku. Ndaphuma ndingena koogqirha ndisithi ndisematrinarha ndithi ndilapha eMotherwell koogqirha. Kwafumaniseka into yobana akho luncedo ndilufumanayo.
So yayinto yamkelayo nje into yoba xa usezigemini uzawuphathwa sisilumo qha. But into endiyifumana i-strange, abantu abaninzi abaphathwa sisilumo uyafumanisa uba uthi umntu abantu abaninzi sibaphatha xa bengekabi nabantwana. Ufumanisa uba kude kutsho, I remember nam ukhula kwam kwakukhula kusithiwa because sasendiguqa ukhula kwam. Kodwa my mother used to say, once ube nomntana sizawuhlukana nawe silumo. And ndafumanisa uba that's really what happened. When I felt pregnant and I had a baby, then that's the time I had an answer. So esakho, it's actually quite interesting uba ubungenaso all along. But uzothi xa sowugqibile ukuba nabantwana kube ukhona sekuqalayo.
Yes.
And khange kubekho umuntu okwazi ukukunika explanation for that. Uba kwenzeka ntoni.
Ugqirha endaya kuye eNtinarha waye wathi umlomo wesibeleko umncinci. Ndabe ke mna ndiphela zintlungu ngelo xesha. Kungeli xesha ke ngoku sendizawuqala kwa-Health Haven ngo-2010. Ufika kwam kwa-Health Haven ngo-2010 njalo kungekavulwa amagumbi wonyangela. Ndabe mna sendiqaliswa kwiprogram ye-liver detox namanye amayeza anxulumene ne-high blood pressure yam. Ndabe ndiqalile ke kwiprogram leyo ye-liver detox ndancedakala kakhulu kuba kusukela ngoko ukuza ngoku ndayiyeka i-treatment ye-high blood pressure. Kwaze kwathi ke ngoku apha ekuhambeni kweminyaka kwafikelela ixesha lokuba kubekho umatshini lo esijonga ngawo emzimbeni wonke ukuthi kwenzekalani. Kwafumaniseka ke ngoku phaa kumatshina uba ndinayo i-cyst elapha kwibladda yam. Esinyini ngokwesintu. Yabe ibonakala ibladda but ndabe nam ndiyiva uba ikhona into endiyivayo but ndingayazi uba yintoni na. Ndathi ke ngoku ndabe ndisebenze ngamayeza ndafakwa ku-kidney cleanse, ndanikwa namayeza wokuncedisana nebladda yam. Kungoku nje ndiziva ndingcono kakhulu kangangento okokuba andisebenzisi naliphina iyeza, ndisebenzisa only amayeza endalo alapha kwa-Health Haven.
Now kwicase ye-gluten, because ke nantsi topic esithetha ngayo namhlanje, isizathu soba ube ngomnye wabantu endibakhethileyo kwa-Health Haven it's because ungomnye wabantu aba-gluten intolerant. And apha ekutshintsheni kokutya ubona ntoni na? Ndifuna utsho ngawakho amazwi ubaxelela abaphulaphula ngokunokwakho uba kwenzeke ntoni emva koba udicide into yoba mandiyeke ukuzitya izinto ezinanto.
Okay, ndithanda ube ndidicide ukuba mandiyeke isonka uba ndiyasithanda kakhulu isonka, bendingumntu osithanda kakhulu isonka. Ndimane ndisiba ngelo xesha funeke ndingasityanga ndimane ndisiba. Iphinde ibuye kwakhona ipain ngenxa yoba ndiyasitya isonka. Uba ngabana ndiyafuna utya isonka fanele nditye isonka esi-gluten free ukuze ndibe nako ukhona. Ndathi ke ekubeni uba ndathatha isigqibo okokuba mandiphumane nesonka, ndiphumane nazo zonke izinto efanele ndingazityanga.
Okay.
So umahluko ube mkhulu kakhulu emveni kokuba ndiye ndasiyeka isonka nazo zonke izinto ekuthiwa mandingazityi. Xa ndityayo ndijonga kwi-diet plan yam.
Enkosi kakhulu Thobeka.
Enkosi.
I-contribution yakho. Siyabuya babukeli, we'll be right back. There are many people who are suffering from gluten intolerance and they are not even aware of it. There are children who are having problems at school. They cannot sit still, they cannot concentrate. They are failing not because they are not smart, but it's because they've got ADD, which is caused by gluten intolerance. There are people who have got unexplained illnesses and they're not even aware that the culprit is gluten intolerance. Now the problem is, you find that most of these people, some have got dietitians that advise them on what to take, some have been to the doctors, but they are always given wrong suggestions as far as gluten is concerned, and you find because the person is constipating a lot, they tell you must have a lot of fiber, and some of them even say, oh, when I say you're gluten intolerant, so you need to stay away from gluten, and they say, but that is what makes me at least go to the loo at least once a week. If I don't take gluten, you'll find that I don't go for the whole month. But then you find, when I ask, do you actually go on a daily basis? I say, yeah, no, I don't go on a daily basis, but at least once a week is better than once a month. So I want to say this, if you're gluten intolerant, you must know that it's the same as taking poison, and your system keeps on reacting and ends up creating a whole lot of autoimmune disorders, which are illnesses that occur because your immune system is turning against you. At Health Haven, we are in a position to tell you if you've got deficiencies in certain enzymes. We will tell you if you're gluten intolerant. We will tell you if it is celiac disease, which means it has complicated to a stage where it is now celiac disease. We will tell you if you are lactose intolerant. We will tell you if you are fructose intolerant, or if it is just fructose malabsorption. So all those things we are in a position to detect. We are therefore saying, please, even starting from your children, because remember, gluten intolerance, it runs in the family. You'll find that those people that belong to a particular family, it tends to be the same with almost everybody. Now we are saying you need to come and have it checked. But for those people who really want to have a healthy lifestyle, there's nothing that's stopping you from making a decision that as from today, you're going to limit your gluten intake, even if you're not experiencing anything. But now remember, the fact that you're not experiencing symptoms does not mean you are free from these problems that are gluten related. So, because there are people who will have no symptoms at all, and yet the problem is so bad. By the time that they get sick, they really get very sick. This is just an effort from our side, like we have promised the viewers, that we're going to keep on bringing you information. Some of this information is not going to be pleasant. Some is going to force you to change your way of living. And it might be a bit difficult at the beginning, because remember, if you're not supposed to take bread and you're battling to get gluten-free bread, what do you think your lunch is going to be? So it's going to be a bit difficult, but all we're saying is this is an opportunity for you to get a chance to change your life. For everybody at Health Haven, we will be able to test you, whether you bring your young children, we'll be able to test them and be able to tell you and be able to even advise you on what you will need to take, and you will be amazed at how it's going to turn your health around. You'll be amazed at how energetic you're going to be. Even this weight problem that we're talking about, you'll find that you lose weight. Some people even come back and say, I'm losing weight, I don't want to lose weight. I mean, you're going to lose weight if you're eating healthy, because your system is going to get rid of all these excess fats that it's been storing, which end up making you look fat and making you unhealthy. You will find us at Pier 14, but the numbers, you will find the numbers as displayed on the screen, our contact details. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next time, and goodbye.
We do not always appreciate the importance of our health until we lose it. When we are told that nothing can be done to heal us, no matter how much money we have, everything that seems so important before now starts to lose its value. We experience pain, desperation, and loneliness in the presence of others. Then we acknowledge that healing is a gift that goes beyond medicine, that there are other options out there that may help us, and that there is a higher power that controls the distribution of this gift. As a result, we hesitantly and somewhat reluctantly begin to explore these other avenues. To our great surprise, we discover the secrets of the universe through alternative medicine. We experience and respect the generosity of divinity through various health modalities. Our faith is restored, our health improves, and life begins to make sense again. Health is a basic human right. And healing is a gift that is given to us by God through a variety of channels, including doctors and other alternative practitioners. How is it that until now we did not know that there was so much on offer? That doesn't really matter. For now, we are being given the chance to know.